guys, it's Sal. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to do a really special cake. I took a couple of Wilton courses last year, and when I say a couple, I mean one. So I'm going to show you a few things that I learned in this video today. This basket weave cake, I think, is a really great cake idea to make for Easter because of the basket weave design that is going to be on a cake. And I'm going to use a beautiful, fluffy, kind of creamy off-white, homemade Italian meringue buttercream frosting. I'm going to show you guys a few steps and a few ways to do a couple of flowers. Now, I'm not a pro at making flowers out of buttercream yet. I'm the first to admit that. So if they don't come out too pretty or up to par, well, I apologize ahead of time. Hope you guys enjoy the video. See you later. Bye. So I'm going to attempt to show you guys a little demonstration before we begin on the cake. You want to start by piping a vertical stripe or a line going down. Next, you want to go horizontal and pipe your horizontal stripe, and then you want to pipe a spacer dot. And then you want to do another spacer dot and then go horizontal again. And this is just to ensure that your lines are evenly spaced and that it's more clean or whatnot. So you just really have to remember vertical and then horizontal, vertical and then horizontal, or down and then across, down and across. If you keep the same pattern, you should be okay. So next, I'm going vertical or going down to cover those spacer dots. Next, we're going horizontal, filling in those spaces, steady pressure. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this is tip 21 from Wilton. So steady pressure, bring it over the vertical line, carry over and then stop. Steady pressure, squeeze, fill that dot or fill the line and then bring it over. And then just repeat. Just remember vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So now here is my next vertical line. And then again, we are filling in and just going straight across over the vertical line, and then you will stop because I will show you later that I evenly spaced out the lines using actually a cake chart. And then I'm just going to quickly show you guys what it's going to look like at the end here. So here's a quick little shot of what design will be on the cake later. It's kind of cute. It looks like a basket weave definitely. So keep watching and I'll show you guys how to finish this up. So right now I'm basically making sure that my vertical lines are evenly spaced, about ½ inch apart, maybe less. If you're using a sheet cake, then you can actually use a ruler to evenly space out your cake as well. I initially used a cake dividing chart, which I will show you or post the link on my blog on where I purchased that. So here I already have my initial vertical stripe going down, and now I'm going horizontal over the vertical stripe. I should have piped my spacer dot before I went across, but I always forget to do that. So again, I'm going across, then piping my little dot, across again, pipe my another dot, and then the last one should reach the very bottom. And then you just go over the spacer dots with your vertical line. Remember, it's vertical, horizontal, vertical, and then horizontal. As long as you keep that same pattern, you should be good to go. And then, of course, just repeat the same process and the same steps going all across the cake or all over the cake. And here is my finished basket weave design. Might take a little bit of practice at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's very, very easy to do. Next is a simple rope design using tip number 18. You want to pipe kind of like a lazy U, kind of like a C-shaped turn to the side. Then you want to insert the end of the tip into the curve of the piped U shape, holding the bag away from you, and just repeat the process. You want to apply minimal pressure, pull the tip down, then lift the icing up over the end to form the next U shape. So insert and goes over the end, insert and then go over the end of the last U shape. These are some basic flower designs. Starting with the apple blossom template, it should stick to your flower nail. Next, you need to place a parchment square on top of that using some like the Elmer's glue stick and just press it down gently. Next, using tip 101, you want to move the tip out along the dotted line of the template as you spin the nail to form the first 1/4 inch petal, and then just repeat the process. Now the wide end of the tip should be lightly touching the center of the nail. Squeeze, relax pressure, then move the tip back to the starting point each time. Make sure that you're rotating the nail at all times. Next, I'm just using a tip number 1 with some yellow frosting to pipe the middle. Now we're going to do the primrose. This is use a curve, dip, and then curve movement. It looks just like a heart if you think about it. Again, you're letting the spin of the nail form the petal. You want to relax pressure as you move back to the starting point to form the next petal and so on. Make sure you repeat with the remaining 4 petals. Again, it kind of looks like a heart. Using the same frosting and same tip as earlier, piping the yellow dot right in the middle. Next is the violet template. Same procedure as before. Make sure you have a little parchment square stuck on that using a little glue stick. I'm using tip 59 here with light pressure. You just want to move the tip out slightly following the dotted line on the template. Start with the 3 at the top there and then end with the 2 bottom one. Relax pressure as you move the tip back to the starting point. Again, you're spinning the nail to form each petal. Last but not least, we're piping 2 yellow dots for the center. Next is the rose template. This one's a little bit more difficult. I have some royal icing here. I'm using tip number 12 to pipe the center. It looks like a Hershey Kiss if you think about it. And then I'm going to switch the tip to a tip 104 by Wilton. Now I'm going to pipe all the way around, spinning the nail at all times to form an upright petal. Next, I'm going to make my 3 petals. I'm going to make sure that the tip is touching the rose base at all times. So there's 1. And then make sure the tip is always clean as well before you start each petal. There's a second one. And there's the third one. Now this next one will have 5 rows. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5th one. And now our final row will have 7. You're always constantly turning the nail, making sure that the tip again is clean. So this one gets kind of messy. And I'm sorry if I'm not explaining it very well. Like I said, I'm not a professional at these yet. And I will get better. And I'm not very good at explaining them, so I apologize for that. So I think I'm on my 7th one already. Oh, here's the 7th one. And my rose is complete. This one is the Daffodil template. I'm using tip 104, and we're basically, again, wide end of tip will lightly touch the center and just follow the line. You're filling the whole space of the template. They're pretty easy to follow. If these all look the same, you're right, I agree. They're just different sizes and different color. Now I'm just cupping the petals slightly. I've dipped my fingers in some cornstarch to make them kind of pointed at the ends. Next, using tip number 3, you're going to move the tip in a circular motion, piping an open coil flower center. And you want to make sure that the base of the coil is more narrow than the top. And we're done. Here is my very, very happy Easter cake. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. And if you want to make this cake just because, you can too.